Alex sat on the edge of his bed, staring at the small window that looked out over the quiet street. He remembered the day Sarah waved goodbye beneath the big oak tree. The sun had been bright, and her smile had shone like a promise. Now the house felt emptier than ever. Every corner held an echo of her laughter. He touched the worn photograph in his hand, two friends smiling at the county fair, and felt a hollow ache inside. He tried to focus on schoolwork, but his mind kept drifting back to the day she left. Sarah had moved across the ocean, chasing a scholarship to study marine biology. He was proud of her, but proud and happy felt tangled with sadness. The distance between them felt vast, like an empty canyon that swallowed his words and hopes. In class, Alex watched the clock tick slowly. He thought about calling her, but his finger hovered over the phone. What would he say? I miss you. Those words felt too small. He worried they might sound needy. He worried she would be too busy exploring coral reefs or making new friends. He imagined her excitement as she dove into blue water, discovering creatures he could only dream of. He wanted to be part of her life, but he did not know how. That afternoon, Alex wandered to the riverbank. The sun was warm on his neck, took out a notebook and scribbled ideas for a letter. Wrote about school projects, funny jokes from his little sister, and the new cafe that opened near the library. Then he stopped. He read what he had written and crumpled the page. This sounds dull, he muttered. He looked at the river, flowing steady and strong. He thought of human ships that cross oceans, powered by engines and guided by stars. People built those ships? Could he build something to reach Sarah? The thought lit a spark in his mind. He pulled out his phone and researched long-range radio signals. He read about amateur radio enthusiasts who talked with other operators around the world. A smile broke across his face. That night, Alex cleared the garage and found an old radio set his grandfather used years ago. The metal box was dusty, the knob stiff. He plugged it in and felt a thrill when it crackled to life. He studied manuals online, soldered wires adjusted. Frequencies. Hours passed, but he did not feel tired. He felt alive with purpose. He imagined Sarah hearing his voice across the waves of air, bridging the gap that felt so wide. Late into the evening, he'd finally tuned the radio to the right band. The speaker hissed, and then a faint voice broke through. It was not Sarah's voice, but it was someone. He waved at the antenna, laughed, and greeted the stranger. Words tumbled out in a mix of his practiced phrases and real excitement. The stranger answered back kindly, surprised by the young operator's skill. Alex's heart swelled. Oh, if he could speak to someone halfway across the globe, why not to Sarah? He wrote down the notes from the conversation and saved them in his notebook. Then he whispered into the microphone, Sarah, can you hear me? It's me, Alex. His voice trembled. He held his breath. The static answered. He let out a slow sigh, but he did not give up. He kept the radio on through the night, sending the same simple message in loops. His name, the day, how much he missed her. When dawn light crept through the garage window, Alex sat back and watched the soft glow on the radio dials. Felt tired, but hopeful. He had built a link where there had been none before, and it was small, but it was a start. Humanity had always found a way to connect across great distances by ships, by letters, by voices in the air. He was no different. He was part of that long line of hopeful hearts reaching out across space. He packed up the radio and carried it inside. On his desk, he placed the photograph of him and Sarah. He sat and carefully wrote a letter again, but this time he added a note. I'm trying something new to reach you. I miss you every day, and I'm not giving up. He folded the paper and slid it into an envelope addressed to her university. It felt like more than words. It felt like a promise. By the time he went to bed, Alex's sadness had softened into determination. He dreamed of a day when Sarah's voice would answer his call, clear and bright. He dreamed of their laughter echoing together again in the quiet garage or beneath the old oak tree. He believed that human hope could cross any distance, and as he drifted into sleep, he knew he would keep reaching out because that is what humanity does when someone they love is far away. Alex woke before sunrise. the quiet house around him still heavy with the night's shadows. He carried the small radio set into the kitchen, its dials softly glowing like distant stars. He poured himself a cup of tea and sat at the table, paper and pen ready. Though yesterday's light faded from his heart, today brought fresh resolve. He would try again, this time in a new way. He reviewed the messages he had sent overnight. His voice crackled through the airwaves. "Sarah, it's Alex. I miss you." He repeated her name with care, as if saying it louder might stretch the distance between them. Yet in the empty kitchen, he heard only static. He tapped the radio gently, willing it to return her voice. When nothing came, he set the radio aside and reached for his pen. In simple strokes, he wrote Sarah a letter filled with small details: the robin nesting on the porch, his mother's new recipe for blueberry pie, the way his little sister still called Sarah the best big sister ever. He folded the letter neatly and slipped it into the mailbox. It felt brave, like sending a paper boat across a vast ocean. He hoped it would reach her hands and bring him closer. At school, Alex felt the ache of absence again. Every time someone mentioned her name, his chest tightened. In art class, he painted bright waves on canvas blues and greens mixing like ocean foam. When his teacher praised the work, he gave a small smile. The painting showed movement, connection, hope. It was his heart on a frame. That afternoon, Alex met his friend Priya at the park. Priya had known Sarah since they were all kids. Walked along the gravel path, Priya asked, "Have you heard anything?" Alex shook his head. Priya stopped and placed a hand on his shoulder. "You're doing all you can," she said. "She'll know that." Alex looked at her gratitude, shining in his eyes. Even if Sarah never replied, he knew people around him cared. Human kindness crossed every distance. Back home, he remembered a story his grandfather told him about old explorers using carrier pigeons. The birds would find their way home over hundreds of miles. Could he find a modern version of that? He researched online and found a community of message-in-a-bottle enthusiasts. They sent waterproof capsules into rivers and seas, tracking where they washed ashore. The idea captured his imagination. He designed a simple waterproof tube, wrote Sarah's address on it, and sealed a rolled-up letter inside. The next morning, Alex cycled to the riverbank. He stood where the water flowed fast and clear. With a steady hand, he released the bottle. It bobbed on the current, then drifted away. Alex watched until the ripples faded. It felt like hope set. "Free," he whispered. "Carry my words to her." He believed that if humans could send ships into orbit, they could also send messages across water to reach a friend. Days passed without reply, but Alex found strength in each small effort. He joined the amateur radio club at school. On Wednesday evening, he and older students built a taller antenna on the roof. The new device reached farther, its metal arms like welcoming hands. Alex pressed the button and spoke clearly. "Sarah, can you hear me now?" His voice was soft but firm. He imagined her listening and smiled. Friday brought a letter in his mailbox, handwritten and familiar. His heart thumped as he tore it open. Inside, Sarah wrote of her new life, the scent of salt water in the air, the vibrant markets filled with colors he could barely imagine, the friends she was making among scientists and students. She spoke of missing him too, of the photograph he'd sent tucked into her journal. She apologized for the delay. Her days were full, yet her thoughts often drifted home. Alex read the letter twice, his eyes bright. Sarah closed with a promise. "Keep writing and talking. I will answer as soon as I can. Your voice means more to me than you know." He felt joy bloom in his chest. All the static, all the miles, all the inventive plans led to this moment. Humanity's spirit of connection had won again. He raced to the garage, found the radio, and sent a brief reply. "I hear you, Sarah. I'm here for you always." The distant crackle seemed to carry her smile. He paused, imagining her reading his words on the other side of the world. Then he wrote another letter to mail, and prepared a second message in bottle one filled with drawings of their town's skyline at dusk. That evening, Alex stood beneath the oak tree where Sarah had waved goodbye. The sun dipped low, painting the leaves gold. He placed the bottle at the tree's roots and whispered, "For you." He laid his hand on the bark and felt a pulse of determination. Distance could not break a promise. Human hearts were built for hope and for finding each other against all odds. Alex walked home under the soft glow of streetlights, the radio humming gently in his backpack. He felt lighter, filled with purpose. He would keep sending messages in letters and waves and art until the day they met again, because that is what makes humanity strong, our endless drive to reach out to, connect, and to bring hope to those we love. Alex woke to the soft light of morning drifting through his curtain. He sat at his desk, looking at the postcards Sarah sent weeks ago. Each card showed a bright new place she had visited. A coral bay, a mountain village, a bustling market. Loved the pictures, but they made him feel even more distant. He missed her laughter and her calm voice guiding him through his days. He reached for his phone, scrolling through old messages. He paused at the saved voice note she had sent him on his birthday. Sarah's voice was warm and bright. He pressed play, and her words filled the room. "Happy birthday, Alex. I wish I could be there to celebrate." He closed his eyes. Her kindness felt like a gentle hand on his shoulder, and he longed to feel that again. At school, Alex joined the yearbook club. He thought that by creating a tribute page, he could honor Sarah and share her story. He sketched ideas for photographs and captions. He talked with his classmates about the best memories they had with Sarah. Everyone shared kind words and funny anecdotes. Alex realized he was not alone in missing her. His friends cared too, and that thought warmed his heart. After school, he walked to the art supply store. He bought bright paints, brushes, and a large canvas. He decided to paint a mural for the school hall, a mural of connected worlds. On the other, he painted Sarah's new city with its blue-green waters. In the middle, he painted two hands reaching for each other across the space. Each evening, Alex worked on the mural in the old art room. Teachers and students passed by and offered encouraging words. Some helped with mixing paints, others cleaned brushes. The mural grew day by day. Alex felt hopeful. The hands in the middle seemed almost alive, stretching out with a promise. The mural said, "We reach across distances because we care." One evening, Alex set up a video call in the art room. He worried about showing his painting before it was finished, but he wanted Sarah to see his progress. He tapped the screen and waited. The call connected, and for a moment, his heart stopped. He saw Sarah's face, framed by bright sunlight and palm leaves. She smiled wide, and Alex felt tears of joy spring to his eyes. "Alex," she said, "I've heard about the mural. Looks amazing." Her voice crackled slightly over the connection, but it was hers. He guided her view across the canvas. She gasped when she saw the connected worlds. "This is beautiful," she said softly. "It feels like you are holding my hand from across the sea." Alex felt hope fill him like warm sunlight. They talked for an hour. Sarah showed him the little seaside cottage she now lived in. She held up a starfish she found on the beach. Alex laughed and told her about the mural's final details. He admitted how he had worried she was too busy to talk. Sarah shook her head. "I always have time for you," she said. "Distance cannot change that." Alex felt a joy he had not known in months. After they hung up, Alex added final touches to the mural. He painted tiny stars across the sky and a bright moon above the two worlds. Each star represented a memory he and Sarah shared. When he finished, he stood back and smiled. The mural was more than art. It was proof that human hearts could bridge any gap, no matter how vast. The next morning, the school held a small unveiling ceremony. Students and teachers gathered in the hall. Alex spoke a few simple words. "This mural is for Sarah and for anyone who feels far from the people they love. We humans are strong because we keep reaching out." The crowd applauded. Alex looked at the mural's reaching hands and felt a deep sense of peace. That afternoon, Alex wrote Sarah another letter. He described the unveiling, the cheers, and the tears. He folded the letter and placed it with care in an envelope. He stamped it with a picture of the mural. He knew the mail would take time, but he trusted that each step, each letter, each call, each brushstroke brought them closer together as he walked home under the glowing sunset. Alex thought of the mural's message: hope lives in our choices. He might not know exactly how long it would take to feel close to Sarah again, but he knew he could keep trying. Humanity's greatest power was our ability to connect, to create, and to believe in each other. And Alex believed with all his heart that one day distance would be nothing but a memory. Alex woke to the soft hum of his alarm and sat up slowly. The morning still felt empty, without Sarah's voice by his side. He reached for his phone and saw no new messages. His heart sank for a moment, but then he straightened his shoulders. He would find a way to bridge the miles between them. After breakfast, Alex walked to the town's small library. He remembered that Sarah once loved maps and stories of faraway places. Maybe he could learn more about her new home. Inside the library, he found a book on coastal cultures, with pictures of festivals and marine life. He checked it out, feeling a spark of excitement. Studying the book felt like stepping closer to Sarah's world. At home, Alex spread the book open on his desk. He made notes on pages that reminded him of Sarah, the descriptions of sea turtles, the festivals where people danced under lantern light, the recipes with tropical fruits. He thought how he could use these details in a message to her, decided to record a short video showing his own world's festivals and foods, so she could see his life as he saw hers. He set up his phone in the backyard where the sun was bright. First, he filmed the oak tree where they had waved goodbye. He panned to the garden where his mother grew tomatoes every summer. He held up a bowl of blueberries and described how sweet they tasted. Then he showed a small paper lantern he had made, lighting it as the sky began to turn pink. In calm words, he spoke to Sarah. "I learn about your world, and I share mine. I hope this brings us closer." Alex sent the video through the Amateur Radio Club's digital channel. He knew it would travel in packets of data, bouncing off satellites, across oceans, until it reached her. He closed his eyes and imagined her watching it on a small screen, smiling at the familiar sights. He believed that human effort and technology could overcome any distance. That night, Alex could not sleep. He imagined the sea lantern festivals in Sarah's town, lanterns drifting on water like floating stars. He wrote her another letter, describing his own lantern release under the oak tree. He asked her to send a picture of her lantern festival. He folded the letter and placed it with the video confirmation email printed on a page. It felt like a gift filled with light. The next day at school, Alex volunteered to help with the annual science fair. He offered to build a simple weather station that could measure wind, temperature, and humidity. He thought Sarah might appreciate the data from her coastal home. He worked with his classmates, soldering small sensors and fitting them onto a wooden board. He felt proud of their teamwork and knew that this station would send its readings online for anyone to view, including Sarah. When the weather station was ready, Alex uploaded the project to a public website. He decorated the project page with photos of their work and a note for Sarah, "Wherever you are." He posted a link on the radio club's bulletin and on his personal blog. He hoped she would find it and see his steady efforts to connect. That evening, Alex's phone buzzed. He saw a notification. Someone had commented on his weather station post. He opened the message with trembling fingers. It was Sarah. "I saw your station. The readings remind me of home. Here's a picture of our lanterns floating on the bay." Attached was a photo of glowing lanterns reflected in calm water. Alex's eyes filled with tears of joy. His heart felt full for the first time in weeks. He typed a quick reply. "It is beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I lighted my lantern under the oak tree for you." He hit send and leaned back in his chair. He realized that his small actions, videos, letters, projects, had built a bridge of caring across the world. Humanity's best gift was our ability to try, again and again, to reach those we love. The next morning, Alex placed the photo of Sarah's lanterns on his desk. He looked at the gentle glow in the picture and felt hope shine inside him. He knew there would still be silent hours and quiet nights, but he also knew they could fill those hours with effort and creativity. He believed that human courage and imagination could turn any space between hearts into a path of light. As he left for school, Alex glanced back at the oak tree in the front yard. He touched its bark and whispered, "We will meet again soon." Then he walked forward with a steady step, ready to learn more, to create more, and to keep reaching out. Because that is what humanity does. We feel distance, we feel longing, and then we build new ways to bring hearts together. And Alex carried that hope with him every step of the way. Alex woke early to an idea that filled him with sudden energy. He wanted Sarah to feel close, not just through letters or videos, but by sharing a living moment in his world. He decided to set up a live camera by the old oak tree, their special meeting place. If Sarah could see the tree's leaves rustling in real time, she might feel as if she stood beside him. He took his laptop and walked to the yard. He found an old webcam in his desk drawer and cleaned its lens. Then he borrowed his sister's tripod to hold it steady. He plugged the camera into his laptop and tested the view. The sturdy trunk of the oak filled the frame, its branches reaching toward the sky next. Alex set up a simple website on a free hosting platform. He used basic templates and a tutorial video online to embed the live webcam feed. He added a chat box below the video so viewers could type messages that would appear instantly. Gave the page a friendly title, Under the Oak with Alex. He felt proud. He had taught himself web streaming in one day. He wrote a short note for Sarah. "I hope you can watch this tree and share the wind with me." He emailed the link and posted it to the Amateur Radio Club's message board too. Then, with his heart racing, he clicked Go Live.
Oh, yeah.
On his screen, he saw the oak tree swaying gently in the morning breeze. Beneath it, the ground was still wet with dew. That afternoon, Alex returned home from school to check the stream. In the chat box, he saw, "Hello, Alex," and beside it, a small flower emoji. His breath caught. It was Sarah. He typed back, "Hi, Sarah. Welcome. The wind is soft today." He watched as she typed in real time, "I feel it here. Thank you." No. Their words appeared quickly, bridging the thousands of miles between them, day by day. The live feed became their new ritual. Each morning, Sarah logged in. She described the weather in her coastal town, salty air and seagulls calling. Alex shared what he saw under the oak, sparrows hopping on roots, squirrels chasing each other up the trunk. They laughed together over the chat as if they sat side by side on a park bench. One evening, Alex thought to add something more. He recorded himself watering the oak's base and spoke softly into the camera. "Take care of the roots, and the tree will stand strong, just like friends do." He uploaded the clip to the page as a short introduction video. Sarah watched it later, her typed reply glowing on his screen. "You take care of me too." Encouraged by their renewed closeness, Alex decided on another human-powered idea. He used an old digital camera to film a short tour of his hometown's main street. He walked between the bakery, the small bookstore, and the cafe where they once shared hot chocolate. He edited the clips on his laptop, adding simple titles like "Our Caf" and "Books We Loved." Then he posted the video link in the chat. When Sarah saw the video, her words tumbled in the box. "It feels like I'm there. Thank you for showing me." Alex felt hope blossom inside him. Human creativity had built this bridge. A website, a camera, a shared moment, and distance seemed smaller than ever. A week later, Alex had one more idea. He reached out to his school's technology teacher and borrowed a small wireless microphone. He placed it under the oak tree so Sarah could hear the leaves rustle and the distant sound of cars on the street. He tested it carefully, adjusting the volume so the sound was gentle. Then he enabled live audio on the website. At dawn, the next day, his phone buzzed with a message, "I hear the wind and the birds. It is so peaceful." Alex smiled at his screen. He sat outside with a cup of tea, listening through his headphones. He closed his eyes and imagined Sarah beside him. Sharing the quiet morning, he believed that no matter how far apart they were, human heart and human tools could bring them together. Over the following days, Sarah began to share small pieces of her world too. She sent him a short audio clip of waves lapping on a shore, and a video of lanterns floating in her town's night sky. Alex added these to a new section on the website, Sarah's Side. Now the page showed both of their worlds, one under an oak, one by the sea, united in a simple window on the internet. One evening, Alex sat before the computer and typed, "This is our world, joined by hope." He thought of how many inventions, ships, letters, radios, websites, humans had made to reach each other. He felt proud to be one of them. He believed that as long as people kept trying, they could turn any distance into a shared moment. He sent Sarah a final message for the night. "Good night under the oak. I'll see you in the morning wind," she replied. "Good night by the sea. I'll dream of your tree." Alex closed his laptop and looked up at the real oak outside his window. Its leaves shimmered in the moonlight. He whispered, "We are together." And he knew it was true, because humanity's spirit, its courage and creativity, could bridge any gap and fill any silence with hope. Alex woke with a start at dawn, the sky pale blue outside his window. Today felt important. He had another idea to bring him closer to Sarah. He decided to make a small book of their shared memories and send it to her. If she could hold his words and drawings in her hands, she might feel his presence near her. He gathered supplies on his desk, blank pages, colored pencils, glue, and photographs. He arranged the photos by date, their first day at the fair, the time they built a model rocket, the afternoon they painted by the lake. He cut each picture into a neat square and set them aside. Then he thought of words to match, short, clear sentences that spoke of friendship, trust, and laughter. For each page, Alex wrote a simple sentence beneath the photo. "We cheered when the rocket flew high. Your laugh brightened every sunset. Together, we made art under the sky." Kept the sentences brief but true. Then he added, "Small sketches. A rocket, a paintbrush, 2 hands holding." With every stroke, he felt his heart steady and hopeful. After filling 10 pages, he created a title page, "Memories Across the Miles." He decorated it with stars and a small earth drawing, half showing his home and half showing Sarah's. He punched holes in the pages and tied them together with a ribbon. The little book felt warm and real in his hands, like a bridge made of love and creativity. Next, Alex wrote a longer letter to include at the front. In it, he explained why he made the book. He told Sarah how each memory gave him strength. When he felt lonely, he wrote that he hoped the book would remind her of their bond, no matter where she lived. He sealed both letter and book in a padded envelope. He carefully filled out Sarah's address and stamped the envelope. At the post office, the clerk smiled at his package. "That's a special gift," she said. Alex nodded and said, "I hope it reaches her soon." As the envelope disappeared into the mail bin, he felt a flutter of hope. Humans had used letters for centuries to connect. Now he sent his own creation. Back home, Alex reflected on his efforts so far. Radio messages, lanterns, videos, live streams, shared art, and now this memory book. Each idea felt like a thread woven between their hearts. He believed that human imagination and care could make any distance shrink. That afternoon, he went to the local makerspace. He wanted to add one more touch, a small electronic message in a box. He sketched a tiny circuit that would display a scrolling message on a small LED screen. He soldered wires, programmed it to show "I am here for you" in simple text, and placed the screen inside a wooden box with a clear front. He tested the box by powering it on. The words glowed softly in the dim light. He smiled. This box could sit on Sarah's desk and remind her of his voice and his promise. He slipped it into another package and addressed it to her as well, with instructions for plugging it in. Sent it out by express mail, trusting that technology could deliver his heart. Days passed in hopeful waiting. Alex kept up their morning and evening rituals. He checked the Live-O camera stream. He updated the weather station. He posted small stories on the shared website. In each act, he felt a connection growing stronger. His sadness did not vanish, but it turned into quiet determination. One morning, an email arrived from Sarah's university mailbox. Alex opened it with trembling hands. The subject line read, "Your memory book." Inside, Sarah wrote that she received the little book and read each page with tears of joy. She said the drawings and words made her feel as if he sat beside her under the oak tree. She also told him about the LED box, how its message glowed in her room every night and warmed her heart. Alex's chest felt light. He typed a quick reply. I am so happy. Every idea was for you. He added that he missed her and looked forward to their next call. Then he paused, remembering how brave he had felt sending his creations out into the world. He realized that human hope was not just a feeling, but a series of actions, small, creative, persistent actions that said, I care, I remember, I am here. That afternoon, Alex added Sarah's words to the shared website under a new section called Her Response, posted her letter and a photo of the LED box shining in her room. He wrote beneath it, this is our bridge. Every link matters. He closed his laptop and walked outside to the oak tree. He stood beneath its familiar branches and closed his eyes. He could almost hear Sarah's voice in the rustle of leaves. Gentle breeze brushed his face, and he whispered, we are connected. He lifted his hand and touched the bark. In that moment, sadness felt distant, replaced by the steady glow of hope. He knew that as long as people used their creativity in their hearts, no gap could stay empty for long. Humanity would always find a way to reach out, to remember, and to bring hope across any. Alex woke early on a bright Saturday morning with a feeling of quiet excitement. Today he would take his final idea into action. He decided to plan a real visit to Sarah's town. If he could see her in person again, he thought, all the distance would fall away. He knew it would take courage and planning, but he felt ready. He opened his laptop and looked up bus and train routes across the ocean. He wrote down schedules and prices in his notebook. He calculated how many days it would take to travel and where he would stay. Even found a small guest house near the UAC. As he worked, his heart seemed to grow lighter with each line he wrote. Next, Alex saved up money by doing small jobs. He helped his neighbor mow lawns, walked dogs for people in his street, and washed cars at the local service station. Each evening, he counted his earnings and placed coins in a glass jar labeled Trip to Sarah. When the jar felt heavy with coins, he felt a surge of hope. Every coin was a step closer. He also wrote a final letter to Sarah, telling her of his plan. He carefully chose simple words, I will come to see you. I will stand under the same sky. He asked if she could meet him at the small harbor where her town's ferries arrived. He sent the letter by express mail and waited, checking his mailbox each day. Meanwhile, Alex still kept their shared website live. He added a new page called Journey and wrote about his travel plans. He posted a photo of his packed backpack beside the oak tree and a scan of his ticket reservation. He believed that by sharing everything, Sarah would know how real his plan was and how much she mattered. A week later, his phone buzzed with Sarah's reply. She wrote that she would be at the harbor on July 30th at noon. She described the spot, a small pier by a white lighthouse. Alex's chest swelled with joy. He booked his ticket for the earliest ferry and counted down the days. On the morning of July 30th, Alex woke before dawn. He packed his bag with essentials, the memory book, the LED message box, and a small origami crane he had folded the night before. He carried the crane as a symbol of peace and care. He set off for the station, his heart pounding with both nerves and excitement. The journey was long. Alex took a bus to the port city, then boarded a ferry that rocked gently on the waves. He watched the coastline slip past, cliffs, beaches, and small islands. Each mile brought him closer to Sarah. He whispered to himself, I am almost there, and felt his hope grow brighter. When the ferry docked, Alex disembarked and walked along the pier toward the white lighthouse. The sky was clear and warm. He scanned the crowd and saw someone standing near the edge, gazing at the sea. Her hair caught the sunlight as she turned. Alex recognized her at once. Sarah? He called softly. Her head snapped up, and her face broke into a smile that lit the entire harbor. Alex felt tears prick his eyes. He hurried forward, and they met under the lighthouse. For a moment, they simply stood and looked at each other, the sound of gulls and waves around them. Then Sarah spoke. I knew you would come. Alex reached into his bag and pulled out the memory book. He gave it to her, and she opened it, reading the pages with gentle wonder. Next, he handed her the LED message box. When she pressed the switch, the words, "I am here for you," glowed softly. Her eyes filled with happy tears. Alex held out the origami crane.
"For you," he said.
Sarah took it and traced its folds with her finger.
"Ew."
She whispered, "This is perfect." Alex felt his own eyes filled with emotion. All the letters, videos, calls, lanterns, and now this moment had led them together. Their distance had vanished. They walked side by side along the pier, talking and laughing as if they had never been apart. They watched the ferry's wake glimmer in the sun. Alex told Sarah about every step he had taken, the jar of coins, the website, the video calls. She listened with pride and affection, amazed at his persistence and creativity. Later, they sat beneath a seaside cafe, sharing a plate of fresh fruit and iced tea, where Sarah said, "Your hope brought you here. Your ideas built our path." Alex smiled and said, "Our hearts did." They planned to spend the next week exploring her town together, building new memories to fill their shared book. As the sun dipped toward the horizon, Alex and Sarah returned to the small pier. They stood hand in hand under the lighthouse, the sea breeze in their hair. Alex looked at Sarah and felt a deep, warm joy. He had learned that humanity's greatest power was the will to connect, to keep trying, and to believe in hope. Under the fading light, they released a paper lantern together into the sky above the water. The lantern climbed slowly, carrying their promise of friendship and love. Alex watched it rise, feeling sure that no matter where they went next, they would always find a way back to each other. Because that is what humans do. We reach out, we build bridges, and we light the darkest nights with hope.